the new 3D ones. All right. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to everyone who's tuned in to YouTube this evening. Thanks for making it out on a Tuesday night. This evening, we have a special format for you. So this is what we call Tell All Tuesday. The difference in format is that I'm not the only one on stage this evening. We're going to be inviting some of our wealth engineers to share their stories with you this evening so that you can hear from the wealth engineers' mouths themselves of their experience of DuePoint. Alrighty, so we're going to be going through the presentation. It's going to be about an hour. You're welcome to ask questions after the presentation, so enjoy. You're sitting in DuePoint's head office here in Bryanston. We're part of a business called Constantia Insurance Company Limited. That's their logo over there in the bottom right corner. Their building in the background. They're based down the road in Randburg. They are one of the few insurers that have got short-term insurance license, a long-term insurance license, as well as our FSP licenses. You'll see that our licenses are all on display outside in the foyer above the water cooler. Very important to have these things as a financial services provider. So be sure to take a look at them. Feel assured that you're dealing with a very reputable company. Constantia has been around for nearly 70 years. So very reputable business. You're welcome to do a background check. Go check their website. Look at the individuals involved in the business. And that is the FSP number that we operate under. This is the executive and the management team here at DuePoint. The three characters on the left here are all chartered accountants. You can see how they're ignoring Jane and I on the outside because we're not accountants. Brendan is the head executive here at DuePoint. He has a wealth of experience in insurance, in financial services, and in a business like this. Call it direct selling, direct marketing, whatever you will. But he brings a wealth of experience from that point of view. Him and his brother, they founded Prime Meridian Direct, which is based down the road, a very successful short-term insurance business. Their father founded Clientele Life, so they've been involved in insurance their entire lives. They probably got insurance policies as birthday presents as kids. That's why you can see, being an accountant is a struggle. We've got Tim. Tim's operating our live stream this evening. He came across to us from the First Rand Group. First Rand Group is the company that owns RMB, Private Bank, RMB Structured Insurance, FNB, Discovery, very large banking group. He was working directly beneath the CEO there. We convinced him to come and join us here at DuePoint. And then our third chartered accountant is Stacy. Stacy comes to us from Deloitte. She worked at Deloitte in Luxembourg, Europe for a couple of years before she came back to South Africa and nearly made the mistake of joining a big bank. We convinced her to come join DuePoint instead. Jane, you would have noticed, is in the foyer this evening. She was sitting down behind reception, the smile of DuePoint. She has got a wealth of experience in direct marketing and direct selling. She comes from Yorkshire in the UK. She's just come back from holiday, so her Yorkshire accent's a little stronger than normal. But she's been in this business for about 10, 15 years already, some of it in the UK and most of it here in South Africa. And then, as I tell everyone, I'm sure the wealth engineers are getting tired of my line, I'm the tallest and best looking out of the whole bunch. I'm allowed to say that because I'm presenting tonight. Brendan has got another take on who the best looking person is in the team. But I come to you from marketing and advertising. Fairly fresh out of school, I started studying design. Did a very short stint at Wits studying engineering. It was way too difficult and I was scared I'd become similar to an accountant. So I got back into marketing and advertising, started my own digital agency at the age of 23, ran that fairly successfully for about 16 years. Up until recently, Brendan also convinced me to join DuePoint. So we all have fairly diverse backgrounds, different abilities, but together, purposely brought together to make DuePoint as successful as possible. And the one passion that really binds us is the ability to empower South Africans, to allow people in South Africa to make a difference in their lives. And that's really where the passion for us lies. Alrighty, so why are you here? Why have you been dragged here? I assume it's on the premise of a financial opportunity, right? I assume everyone here, sitting here, wants to make more money. Am I right? Yes. Okay, good. If you don't want to make more money, you're in the wrong place. So what is the premise? Right, there's financial need. And, this part of the presentation, I can easily go on about the state of South Africa's economy, the state of the global economy that we seem to be on the tail end of, which we have no control over. As a country, we experience one of the worst droughts ever, last 100 years. And that has affected food prices. Like I said, global issues that seem to affect South Africa's economy. And we're all affected by these things. You know, if you're brave enough to listen to any media, whether it's radio or news on TV or carte blanche or whatever, you can become fairly depressed about the economy that we're all being subjected to. And we deal with that firsthand at home because my wife is a labor litigator for Anglo American, the biggest private employer in the country. And you know that the mining industry is under a fair amount of duress at the moment, and a lot of restructuring is happening within the mining industries, particularly with Anglo. They said they were going to get rid of their two biggest assets in the last few months. So my wife oversees all the labor regulation that they need to comply with when they start restructuring and start retrenching people. So firsthand, the other night she got a phone call very late at night from the HR director saying they were needing to retrench some people in one of the divisions, and she had to look at it as a matter of urgency. And this is what we experience all the time. And you might have been affected by retrenchment. You might have been retrenched yourself. South Africa has 1.6 million jobs less than it had 6 years ago, right? So this is the reality for a lot of us. There is one aspect, though, that we have control over, and that is debt, right? And this debt really exacerbates the issue that we all have in our lives, this financial crisis that a lot of us are experiencing. So as I said, debt is something that we have control over. We are all afforded debt the moment we start earning a salary. So typically, your salary gets paid into a bank account, and when that happens, the bank sees that and decides to offer you a whole bunch of products and services. Those take on the form of debt instruments and some savings and some investments, right? Very convenient debt instruments. Credit cards. We all need at least 6 credit cards in our wallet, right? Has anyone ever turned down a credit card or a limit increase on their credit cards, right? So we take these debt instruments on fairly easily, right? Very convenient in our lives. I was overseas recently, very convenient to have a credit card instead of traveler's checks or foreign currency, right? Car. About 10 million cars on the road in South Africa. Not many people buy cars cash. Majority of us will finance them. And that's typically over a 5-year period. Buying your first house. So I went from a townhouse. We had a little baby girl recently. Decided we needed a bigger house, bought a house. 20-year loan with the bank. 20 years, right? I'm going to be paying that house off of. And this is typically the scenario for most South Africans. We all take on this debt. It's almost a natural progression through life, right? That little pig there represents the debt, the investments and the savings products. But even the money that we save after we've been repaying all this debt is still subject to a whole bunch of different costs. The cost of living, groceries, right? Emergencies. FSB tells us that typically South Africans spend about 50% on their salaries on debt repayment. So the other 50% is left over for all of these aspects. Education. Education is becoming far more competitive and more lucrative for some companies because the job market is becoming so competitive, right? People getting retrenched left, right, and center. You need to become more competitive as an employee. So you might want to educate yourselves. You might realize that you need to send your kids to the best schools to make them as competitive in the job market as possible, right? Retirement. Hopefully a portion of that money left over after paying all that debt is going towards retirement planning. More scary statistics that we get out of the FSB that I'll share with you now. Vacations. We get a lot of holidays in South Africa. South Africans love their vacations. All the public holidays, the minimum 15 days that we all receive every year, still cost money. Those December holidays, going to see family wherever they are, cost money. Dreams and aspirations. Anyone under the age of 20 here? Those are the only ones that have got dreams and aspirations, right? As kids, we all had dreams and aspirations. I remember vividly sitting in maths class, not paying attention to the teacher, My Italian friend, Adriano, sitting next to me, who was so passionate about Ferraris. I was the Porsche guy. We had the posters on our wall. We used to draw the cars in our books. Those were the aspirations I had, as fickle as they might seem. But that's what all of us had, these dreams and aspirations. But what happens in the economy is when inflation goes up, interest rates go up, the cost of debt becomes more expensive to maintain. And when that happens, that amount of debt that you were repaying every month now becomes greater. And this portion of money that you have left over becomes less, and it becomes compromised. So all these aspects become compromised. Dreams and aspirations go out the window first, typically, as we get older and older. Hopefully you're not compromising on your retirement planning. You can't send your kids to the schools that you imagined you could. My daughter's 3 years old. I cannot believe how much creche for a 3-year-old costs in today's day and age. We were looking at private schools, because nowadays you've got to enroll your kid the moment they pop out the womb, right? Otherwise you're too late. Private schools start at grade R at like 5,000 Rand a month, and to matric go up to 11,000 Rand a month to a private school. So now you tell me you've got to send your kid to a good school. I'm like, at 11,000 Rand a month, I'd rather send it to Wits straight out of creche. It's going to be cheaper, right? But this is what we all face. So all of these aspects become compromised. Heaven forbid you don't have money left over at the end of the month for emergencies, because that's when you're going to be phoning family, friends, to help you get through the month. What happens if you get retrenched? If my wife or I got retrenched, there would be serious undertakings of lifestyle change at our house. Cannot afford to be on a single income at our house. That's just the reality that exists in my household, right? So what we realize is that we're actually on this journey of debt. Most of us, the majority of us, are on this journey of debt. Remember, I said it started the moment you earned a salary, right? One of the first things I did was go buy a car. Little City Golf. I met my wife. She liked my City Golf. She decided to marry me. She had her own car. We were renting a townhouse. We got married. We decided to start planning a family. Automatically thought, starting a family, can't live out of a townhouse. Let's look at getting a house. Found a house, 20-year bond, keep paying off the cars, right? So I'm over here, just short of 40, most certainly on this journey of debt. The FSB tells us that the majority of South Africans only start saving for their retirement when they're in their 50s. It's too late. But why? Why in your 50s? It's because you've only kicked the kids out the house when you're around 50. You've only finished paying off your bond when you hit 50. It is the first time in your life where you have less debt, is when you're 50. But if you go onto any banking website and you go through their little retirement planning app, if you only start saving for your retirement when you're 50, too late. It is too late. Another stat we get from the FSB, 93% of South Africans retire still financially dependent. And I know from when my wife looks at restructuring companies and the labor issues around that, they will look at individuals that are close to retirement and force them on early retirement. Horrible, right? So 93% of South Africans are still dependent on someone else to get through the month. Their kids. Now you've become a burden to your children, who are already on themselves on this journey of debt, right? So this is what we face in today's economy, with the debt that we take on, what the economy is doing back to us, not much control over it, except for the debt aspect. And so what we did was we formed DuePoint. DuePoint was born out of these issues that we saw South Africans facing. We decided to create a division here at Constantia that would give South Africans the opportunity to change their destinies, to take control over their destinies. So at DuePoint, we have 3 goals for our wealth engineers. The first goal is to get rid of debt completely. I cannot even imagine what it must be to be completely debt-free. Not to have to pay a house off at the end of the month, not to have to pay cars off, credit cards, right? So that's the first goal, become debt-free. The second goal is to allow our wealth engineers to start creating value in an investment that they own. not an investment with an underlying debt instrument like a house. You're paying the bank back 2.5 times what that house's value is. It is not an investment. So we want to create investment for our wealth engineers that they own. And when those two things happen, the third goal happens all by itself. It is a change of perspective where we allow our wealth engineers to connect with dreams and aspirations again. I don't think my wife will let me get the Porsche, but it certainly opens a whole sphere of opportunity for me when I don't have any debt in my life, when I'm creating investment, value in an investment that grows every month. When those two things happen, there's a huge paradigm shift. I don't have that stress at the end of the month. And this is what we want for our wealth engineers through the DuePoint system. And so on that note, I'll ask Cisco to come up. Le Rollet, come stand on stage with me, sir. There you go. Here's your microphone. You have been with us since March. That is your business over the last 3 months. You were one of the first wealth engineers that won a Wealth Quest. So a Wealth Quest is something we do every month. It's a challenge we throw out to our wealth engineers. And you won an iPad, sir, right at the beginning. So you gained immediate value. What was your perception of DuePoint when you got into the business? What motivated you to go through that application form, become a wealth engineer right at the beginning?
Rob, thank you very much. You know, I must just start by saying that I am a commander of the training unit in the South African Police Service. I'm a cop.
Thank you, sir.
Now, I figured out that my salary doesn't make ends meet.
Mm.
And I will also say that I was last promoted 10 years back.
Oh, jeez.
Without the fact that I've been trying to educate myself.
Mm.
The previous year I was doing master's degree, but I dropped off.
Yeah.
Because of moolah. There's no money.
That's the reality of it.
And
Yeah.
you see, for that reason, the DuePoint system was introduced to me.
Mm.
I was referred by somebody who I was trying to recruit to another networking.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
Then he said, no, Brendan, they're trying to do something in 2 weeks. I want to join you, but just give me some time.
Yeah.
And have a look at what they are doing. When I came here, I took the business right away because I said, wow, what a gold. It was like nothing that I've ever seen in my life.
So it was a good first impression.
It was a good first impression,
Good.
and it worked for me. Today, as I'm here, I've started taking a scissor, I'm cutting off the credit cards. I started doing that.
Awesome. Awesome. Well done. Yeah. And what is your aspiration now? Because you've been with the business for 6 months or so, less. You're on 1,500 Rand a month. That's 18,000 Rand a year. You expressed that you wanted to start making ends meet initially. Have your aspirations changed now that you've been in the business for 6 months?
Drastically, because now I'm 100% sure that when I retire from my employment from the South African Police Services, this business will be giving me enough money than my company. I'm sure about it.
And how many years have you been working at
I'm more than
SAPS
22
for?
years in the SAPS.
Well, that's the reality that we all face.
I can tell you this is amazing. That is why the other day I was sharing with one of the wealth engineers outside. He was trying to motivate these people, and I was saying, if you are introduced to such a business and you walk away from this kind of a business, there is no term in the dictionary to label you, man. we don't know what to call you.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we can't convince everyone.
Oh, that's the fact.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think through testimony like yours, we're able to share your experience and the reality of what the business is able to do for you. And that's hopefully peace of mind at the end of the month, but more importantly, peace of mind for when you're ready to retire.
Exactly.
Because 22 years of being with an employer is not going to get you there.
Exactly.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time, sir.
I appreciate it.
That's the reality. You know, I speak about my wife working at Anglo. it's not mine workers that are getting retrenched there. Not only mine workers. She's got colleagues at head office, people that have been working at Anglo for 20 years, that have got 2 degrees, professionals, they're engineers, lawyers, being retrenched, right? So I think the point is that you cannot rely on your employer to get you there. You can make yourself as competitive as possible. MBAs are becoming very popular. Everyone, all my peers, it seems to be the next thing to do. Go do your MBA. Costs you 200,000 Rand to go do. Are you guaranteed that your employer is going to value you so much when you have your MBA that they're going to take you through to retirement with all the expectation you have? I don't know. Alrighty, so let's discuss the benefits. Joining DuePoint, what actually happens is you guys get to contract with us as wealth engineers. As wealth engineers, we want you to do one thing. Go out and build channels of distribution. Into those channels of distribution, us, Constantia, we will sell our products to those individuals that you add in your channels of distribution. And that's basically how the system works. The benefits of it, you get to create additional income stream for yourselves. We don't want you to quit your jobs, right? This needs to become an additional paycheck at the end of the month. That additional income stream is going to allow you to pay that debt off a lot faster than you would have typically. Recurring income. The nature of our business allows you to create recurring income stream for yourself. This is very important. This is the primary reason I left what I was doing before. Because where I was, we were selling time, right? And everything we did the 1 month disappeared and we reset to 0 at the end of the next month. So every month the sales staff had to go do a certain amount of business and we had to do a certain amount of production just to reach the same target month after month. This business allows you to create recurring income for yourselves. So the effort that you put in month 1 rewards you in month 2, in month 3, in month 4. You can spend the same amount of time in the business and your income can grow. You don't need to do the proportionate amount of work to what you're getting as a return, right? So very important point. The power of duplication, those channels of distribution that I spoke of. This is the opportunity for you guys to leverage those channels of distribution that you build. What you're building is you're building teams that collaborate with you with a common goal. That's what's happening here. The CEO at Anglo has got the same amount of time in his day as a rock driller at Anglo. The difference between the two is that the CEO is leveraging 160,000 employees beneath him. The rock driller doesn't have anyone to leverage, right? In this business, those channels of duplication are leverage for your benefit. Completely flexible. You guys are not accountable to us. You get to decide how much time you want to spend in this business. It's not even a part-time business. It's an anytime business, right? Up to you. No startup capital. This is a risk-free endeavor. We are not going to ask you for a startup amount of cash to get involved in this business. If you listen to me tonight and you sign up, and then tomorrow you have a realization that you don't want to be in this business, the worst would have happened is you cancel your product, you would have spent 0 money with us, and the worst would have been listening to me for the hour that you did tonight. So this is a risk-free endeavor, right? No qualifications or experience required. Why is that important? Because we are operating within financial services, the most regulated industry in South Africa. Just this morning, I had to get up at 6 o'clock to go do a financial test. Brendan only revealed this requirement to me after I joined DuePoint, which I wasn't very happy about. But I've had to go through all the regulation requirements for working at a FSP. All right? You guys don't need to do any of that. When the FASE Act came out in 2002, it put 70,000 financial advisors out of business because this aspect was too onerous to work within financial services anymore, right? So you get to get the benefit of being with a financial service provider without having to jump through these hoops. The most important benefit, goal number 2 for being a wealth engineer, build value in an asset that you have ownership over, right? Pay yourself first. Don't pay everyone else that you owe money to first. Pay yourself first. In this business, you get to build a legal asset, one that is transferable. You can move it into a family trust. You can cede it to your kids when you decide to stop doing the business. It can be ceded to them if something happens to you, to your beneficiaries, right? It's treated as a legal asset. And much to everyone's pleasure, there's no selling involved. Brendan will be rude and tell you that you're all very bad at selling, right? But you don't have to sell in this business. Constantia, DuePoint will sell its products into those channels of distribution that you build for yourselves, right? So no selling. The nature of our business are intangible products. There's no stock or distribution involved. If we were selling milkshakes, you would have to buy a lot of milkshakes to make a lot of money at the end of the month. You would have to get a bucky to come load up all the milkshakes. You would have to worry about the expiration date on the milkshakes, right? At the end of the month, you would be in a frenzy trying to sell milkshakes to your family and friends. You don't have to worry about that here. Our system administration takes care of all the collections, the debit orders. It reports everything onto your dashboard online automatically in real time. So we make the business as easy and as convenient for our wealth engineers as possible. What are the channels of distribution? They begin with you. That's you in the center there. You go out and you tell people about the DuePoint opportunity. That vision catches on, like it did for you. And those people go out and tell other people, and this is the beginning of your channel of distribution. These little dots represent the people that we were able to place a product with, but look at how your channel grows organically. This is the potential of it. How much time did it take to add in 5 people into your DuePoint channel, right? Look at the potential of what that can become with time. This is the power of duplication happening. This is you leveraging your channel of distribution for your own benefit. So this is the channel of distribution that we want you to do. This is our disclaimer slide. Because as easy and as convenient as it might seem, and you thinking I've got 4,000 friends on Facebook, I'm going to be a millionaire before the end of the year. As easy and as convenient as we make it, it needs to be treated as an authentic business opportunity, like any other business opportunity. Just because it's easy to get in, just because we make it risk-free, doesn't mean that you can just get into it at a whim, because you're probably going to jump out of it at a whim. So I love this picture of the ballerina because it represents exactly what we're trying to explain here. If you want to become a professional dancer, 10,000 hours potentially of practice, right, of all the frustration, that is what a real ballerina's foot looks like. The one that looks all pretty is there for show, right? In actual fact, she's gone through the broken toes, blisters, toenails that have come off, crying, the teacher telling her she's overweight. All those frustrations. So if you're going to look at this business as an authentic business opportunity, I need you to come in with the mindset of a long-term goal of what this business can do for you. Not what it's going to do in the next month or 2. Because I need you to be able to get over those frustrations that you're going to experience. When you join this business, you're not going to be a good wealth engineer. There's a learning curve to this business. So the moment you change your mindset, when you're thinking a year ahead, 3 years, 5 years ahead, you will get through that frustration. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme, guys. All right. Let's talk about the earnings. So we pay our wealth engineers a base fee of R27.50, a return of R27.50 for every product we're able to place in their channel of distribution. So here's the first 5 individuals that you personally introduced to DuePoint, and we were able to place a product with them. We will pay you R55 because these individuals lie on your first point away from you. Your first point is subject to a 200% multiplier. So we're paying you R55 for every product every single month going forward, right? Remember, recurring income, it's not a once-off payment. This is a recurring payment we make to you guys. They go out and do the same thing. Those individuals lie on your second point, again, subject to a 200% multiplier, and again, we pay you R55 for every product every month going forward. To your third point, your fourth point, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth. At the 8th point, the multiplier drops down to 4%, but we don't limit you there. We will pay you that 4% from the 8th point, in theory, to infinity. So there is no limit on how large your channel can become or how big your returns can become, right? Up to you guys how big you want to build this business, how long you want to spend in this business. So that's the mechanics of how the earnings work. Those very exciting accountants we had introduced you to, they went away into a dark room with Excel spreadsheet, and they came up with a growth formula for us so that you guys could connect with how much money you could earn after a certain amount of time, right? The growth plan they used is called the 3+2 formula. What it assumes is that you're able to add 3 people into your channel in the first month. So let's say August, you're able to add 3 individuals into the channel, and every month thereafter, you only need to add 2 people in, right? What are the numbers you can expect? After 6 months, you could be earning 2,500 Rand a month. For some people, that might make all the difference. For other people, they might turn their noses up at 2,500 Rand a month, especially after 6 months of work. But if you look at how this has an impact on compound interest, which is hurting us all if we have any debt in our lives, if you place that 2,500 Rand into a bond instead of spending it on a new pair of shoes, this is the difference that it can make. It will drop a 20-year term bond on R1 million down to 11.5 years. That 2,500 Rand will save you, any guesses? It's going to save you R1 million. 2,500 Rand will save you R1 million. You'll pay the bond off in nearly half the time. What impact does that have on your life? If I take out a bond now, I'm 40. I'm going to pay the bond off for the next 20 years. But the small 2,500 Rand will allow me to pay the bond off in nearly half the time. That means I've got an extra 10 years to put a lot more money into my retirement planning than I was without the 2,500 Rand, right? But if you keep going, 12 months, you're nearly 10,000 Rand a month. After 24 months, 30,000 Rand a month. Now, I know you can buy a brand new Porsche 911 for 30,000 Rand a month. But as I said, I'm not allowed to buy one. But 30,000 Rand a month will make a massive difference in anyone's life. I don't care how much you earn. 30,000 Rand a month. It's extra 360,000 Rand a year. Anyone get a 360,000 Rand bonus from the employers recently? No one. Maybe at Eskom. After 36 months, nearly 50,000 Rand a month. If you want to look at that bond example, after 30 months, you're probably earning about 35,000, 36,000 Rand. It'll drop a 5 million Rand bond term from 20 years to less than 7 years. Less than 7 years. I'm 39. I've got 21 years left to early retirement at 60. Tell Brendan I don't want his job anymore, because I've already paid off 3 houses that have cost me 5 million Rand. I've paid them off in cash. They belong to me, not the bank. I'm earning what DuePoint's paying me every month. I'm getting passive income from the rental on those 3 houses. What does my retirement look like? Right? Extremely different, right? You keep going, because you're not going to stop there. After 4 years, you're probably on about 75,000 Rand a month. And after a short 60 months, you could be earning in excess of R1 million a year, right? Over and above what you're earning from your employer. When you're earning that kind of money, you don't care whether you get retrenched or not, right? And 60 months is around the corner. The athletes that have just finished the Olympics, you can believe this week they're already starting to train for the next Olympics, right? 60 months is around the corner. When I bought that City Golf, I didn't blink when they told me you're going to be paying off your car for the next 60 months. I only connected with the freedom and the liberation that a car that belonged to me represented, right? Didn't have to depend on public transport. Could drive myself without asking my parents. So what are you guys connecting to? What does R1 million in 5 years' time mean to you? Can you even imagine that? And so I'm going to ask Mike and Vilna to come up and share their story with us. Welcome, guys. They're also from Kempton Park, my side of the tracks, my side of the airport. It's great being so close to the airport, isn't it?
Yes, it's fantastic listening to the planes early in the morning and late at night.
So you guys joined us really right at the beginning, February. Your earnings in June, 1,000, and then suddenly a massive jump to 2,700, and then a smaller jump to 2,900. What was your first impression of the business when you first came to see it? Right at the beginning, what motivated you to join this company that you have never heard of before?
Well, Rob, you know, when we looked at network marketing many years ago, more than I care to say, we realized that this is something that can make a difference in many people's lives. And we tried various companies and we were disappointed more than once. So we came to DuePoint with a lot of trepidation and skepticism. And after looking at it for the first 2 or 3 months, we were pleasantly surprised. And we decided to give it a all. So yes, it is making a difference already. And we're looking forward to staying with the company and going all the way.
Good, I hope so. And your experience, I mean, you then joined the business, so it's been about 6, 7 months already. You're still around, motivated as ever. What has driven that motivation?
Well, you know, Rob, just looking at what we have here, we have to, first of all, thank our Creator for giving us somebody like Brendan, who was given the vision to create this and to build it, the team, the people, the technology, everything that makes this company magic. Here the magic is generated, engineered, and we are there to reap the benefits of it. And it's not just the team here, it is also the team at home, the team that we've helped to build and the team that they are helping to build. Some of them are here, some of them are in Cape Town, some of them in Tabazimbi, hopefully watching us on the other side of the camera. And yes, we're all working together, and also to work at the IRONMAN that we are going to have a look at a little while later. And it's all part of the magic of this company. It is fantastic.
Yeah, you shared with me earlier today that we were keeping you up at night,
Well,
which I take away as a positive.
Yes, definitely. Since becoming a wealth engineer, I have lost a lot of sleep. This morning I woke up at 12:30 and I immediately went to my phone just to have a look what was happening on my dashboard. And at least every half an hour during the day I check the live section to see what's going on, because that is fantastic. That is where I can see not only what is happening, but I can plan and build my business.
My father always told me from an early age, get involved in a business that makes money while you're sleeping. So you can sleep through without checking your phone.
You can, but just think how much you're going to make if you don't sleep.
So you mentioned the incentive trip that we have for Easter. You've got to put in 350 products in the next 6 months. Do you guys have a strategy around that?
Yes, we have a strategy. We've got a team building, a team that is working together, and we're helping each one of them to build their own team. And that is the only way you get to do it, because network marketing is not a one-man business, it is a team business. And if we each help each other to attain our goals, we're going to get there so much faster.
Yeah. Is it not novel to work together, to collaborate with people that you work with, instead of looking at the person next to you and thinking, this is my competition, right? And Vilna, any thoughts that you have on the business, your experience of it so far?
Yeah, it's like Mike said, you don't sleep at night. It's amazing. You get so much out of this business, especially when you see on your phone how your business is growing from day to day. There's nothing that motivates you more than that. And when we come across these guys that say, I've been involved in network, it doesn't work for me, you can tell them, come to DuePoint, because your previous experience has served as a learning curve for you to join a network that is absolutely fantastic. And if they haven't been in a network, come to DuePoint. DuePoint system will teach you how to network. And bring them here to a presentation so that they can experience firsthand how professional everybody is here and how friendly they are. And they will just smile and say, this is for me, and they will join. It's fantastic.
Great. Thank you, Vilna. Thank you, Mike. Thanks for your enthusiasm. It motivates us. Thanks so much. Great. So we explained the returns. The returns are what we pay our wealth engineers at the end of every month, but we have something called the XP Rewards Program. This is almost like an incentive program, right? So similarly to how the Olympians were incentivized, I don't know how much they got paid per gold medal that they got, but really what this is almost a training program. It's almost a study guide for the guys that join and are beginner wealth engineers. This program allows you to go through the step-by-step process to become an experienced, advanced, and effective wealth engineer. And along the way, we reward you, right? So here's the whole rewards table. I'm going to open up the whole thing so you can see the extent of it. So the rewards program has two kind of factors that you need to meet. The first one is when you go through that study guide of sorts, you get XP points, right? And it starts out fairly basic. You just log into the website, you get 25 XP points. And those little tasks get a little harder to do as you become more experienced. And as your channel begins to grow, when you meet these two criteria, we reward our wealth engineers. And the rewards are fairly small at the beginning, 55 Rand, right? You can go get a haircut to celebrate, but they get bigger and better. 100 Rand, 100 Rand, 400 Rand. And we give away tools that make that building of your channels more effective, faster, more successful for you guys. Rank 7 over there is a premium business cards I'm going to show you now. So let's take a look at these. Here's the rank 5 USB stick that we give away. This plugs into mobile phones. It's Apple compliant, Android compliant, plugs into tablets, plugs into computers. 64 gigs, USB 3, really fast, but more importantly, what we do is we put all our training collateral onto this little USB stick. Everything, all the videos that we do get put onto the USB stick to make your job in building those channels of distribution easier and more effective for our wealth engineers. At rank 7, premium gold foil business cards that cost us 12,500 Rand to produce per set. Right? Who gets business cards that cost them 12,500 Rand? Our rank 7 wealth engineers. Ask Donnie. We call these the Rolls Royce of business cards. Because when you place a business card like this in someone's hand, they are going to take notice. Believe me, this business card is 4 times thicker than the CEO of Anglo's business card. And it uses more gold. I promise you that, right? So this makes a difference, that first impression. They're going to ask you who DuePoint is and what you do for them. They're going to be sitting with you at the next intro presentation. So these are tools that make being a wealth engineer more effective for you guys. Rank 9. This is our annual international conference that we have every year. You get to rank 9. This is not a once-off reward. This is an annual reward. You get to rank 9, we will take you on this business class trip for your whole family, not only the wealth engineer, every single year going forward to a 5-star resort. Who gets to fly business class every single year with their spouse and their kids on holiday? Anyone? I still dream about it. I got bumped onto business class by accident once from London. And I had a little cry that I couldn't afford business class. And I vowed to myself I'll never fly economy again until I saw how expensive business class tickets are, right? Get to rank 9. You and your kids will be sitting on business class every single year going forward. You don't have to have a family meeting to discuss how much money you have. You don't have to check the exchange rate to see how badly the rand is performing. You just have to go to the HR manager and make sure you get that week's leave every year. Be sure to tell her that you're flying business class. She will know how much she's paying you. She will say, how are you affording it? And you give her the Rolls Royce business card. Right? So you'll have colleagues from work sitting next to you at the next intro presentation. Everything here is geared to make you as successful as possible in the shortest amount of time. Rank 11, a brand new car. Those are some of the options. Which do you think is the best car to own? It's none of them. It's a paid-off car. That's the key. The key is to have it paid off, right? When we give you this car, we pay for it cash and give it to you. Note, there are no DuePoint stickers on the car. So these are some of the rewards in that XP Rewards program. They only get bigger and better. This is only at rank 11, right? But if you give up before you at rank 3, you will never get to rank 5 or 7 or 11. That's the key, perseverance. There's no time limit on this, guys, right? The Olympians had a time limit. This Olympics, here we don't place a time limit on this. You're accountable to yourselves. This is the Easter conference that we spoke of. 350 products in the next 6 months. Tough, like Iron Man. Wow, we live in a beautiful country. And Franschhoek, the Cape Winelands, is just the most amazing place to be able to go visit. So you place 350 products in your channel of distribution in the next 6 months. Again, we will fly you and your family business class down to Cape Town with the most amazing itinerary planned. Harley-Davidson rides through the winelands. Dining at Michelin star restaurants. An itinerary for the kids, for the adults, right? So you have joined, if you join tonight, in a very good month, because you still have the better part of 6 months to get those 350 products. So if you join this evening, make sure you have a strategy for the end of January. That's the time limit, right? It's available to everyone. Everyone. We've got wealth engineers that have done 350 products in a short 6 months. This is available to you guys. So this is a slide that explains the business model, because some people think we are spending way too much money on our wealth engineers. I question it too sometimes, but I'm not an accountant, so I trust the accountants in the business. They're more accountants than there are designers, which is a good thing in the FSP. So this is the traditional business model, right? Prime Meridian down the road, typical company that uses the traditional business model. Set up a call center, do lots of marketing and advertising. We all understand any business, to get business, needs to do advertising and marketing, right? To get your product, your services out to the consumer. It's a trusted business model, trusted concept used by many companies. At DuePoint, you will not see our logo outside of this building because we're not going to be doing any marketing or advertising. We rely on our wealth engineers, word of mouth, the building of those channels of distribution to get our product to market. So, like the insurance industry spent over R1 billion last year on marketing and advertising, we're not going to do that instead, we give it to our wealth engineers in the form of those returns and those rewards. So it's very simple, right? Everyone understand that? You might be wondering what the products are. We all know it's not milkshakes. We have 3 products. They've been designed to work together, right? They've all got very different benefits. You can take 1 product, 2 products, or all 3. It is completely up to you. The first product is Access Wealth. It is an investment product. 274 Rand a month, of which 100 Rand gets placed into a tax-free investment account for you, right? You've got full access over that account. You can draw the funds if you want within 72 hours. On top of that, we give you 100,000 Rand personal accident cover. So if you own this product and something happens to you, you get hit by a bus, we will place 100,000 Rand into this account for your beneficiaries. Way better than a funeral plan, right? So this is the investment account. The second product is the insurance product called Wealth Guard, 249 Rand a month. This time there is 1 million Rands worth of personal accident cover. The beauty of this product is that it is accessible to everyone over the age of 18. What do I mean? I mean there's no medical declaration. We're not going to risk profile you according to your health status. We're not going to send a nurse to come do blood and urine tests. So whether you're 80 or 90 or 22, whether you have cancer or whatever your health status is, the premium remains the same and the amount of cover that you receive remains the same, right? Great product, accessible to everybody. The third product is actually a non-financial product. It is called the Wealth Points Program. It is also 249 Rand a month, of which you retain 100 Rand that gets converted into wealth points for you to spend with these suppliers over here. This product tackles the issues that we've been discussing tonight from a completely different point of view. It assumes that we all have to spend every month, right? We're spending money regardless of whether we want to or not. This product allows you to save money on that spend. So we've negotiated discounts with all of these suppliers, right? Collective bargaining. Gone and spent a lot of money, got discounts with all these suppliers that we're able to extend to our wealth engineers on this product. So if you want immediate value out of a product, this is the product to have. The Entertainer, very exciting supplier. Over 1.2 million Rands worth of vouchers that you can spend at all the restaurants around the country, hotels around the world, live events that are happening around the country, all the spas for the ladies, right? It's a buy one, get one free system. So we got a great restaurant across the road here, 160 Rand for a fillet steak. You go with a friend, you don't want to be eating alone, you get the second fillet steak for free. That's what the Entertainer does for you. You've saved more money than what the premium is costing you in one lunch sitting. They've got 1.2 million Rands worth of vouchers that get renewed every single year, right? And this list is growing all the time. So you've got access to all these suppliers. And on that note, Glenn, come join me on stage, sir. Also from Kempton Park.
Sorry.
It's a good place. It's a good place to be from. Glenn, you joined us also at the beginning.
Yeah.
February. You went on a 4 or 5 month holiday.
Unfortunately, yes.
Tell us
We all
about,
make mistakes.
yeah, tell us that story. Your first impression on the business. What happened when you went on holiday?
When I arrived here the first time, it was raining. I got here late, and we walked in here, and I didn't know what was going on, and I thought, okay, I'll join. But I disappeared for 3 months, and that was my first mistake. I don't want anybody to make that mistake. But we're all humans, and we make mistakes, but to come back and your persistence in it is the one that counts. When I came back, I decided I'm going to follow this wealth quest, where we can use it as a goal to achieve our own personal goals. So I went on that, and I achieved it in the first month, where I won or got a iPad. From there, next month, I made my second mistake, and something slipped through my fingers, and I lost one of my top wealth engineers on my first point, and that caused something to happen. But I've plugged the hole already. So what I'm saying is we've got to be persistent in this business, and don't look at any mistakes or failures. Look at it as a failure and just keep going.
Yeah. Well, that's the key. I mean, you went on holiday, you came back, you got immediate value, you won one of the wealth quests, went home with an iPad,
Yeah.
right? Had a oopsie in July,
That's it.
which really isn't. I mean, it's a learning curve in this
Yeah.
business. That's why I try to bring your attention to the aspect of perseverance in this business, right? You don't want to be the ballerina that gets the blister and then gives up on their dreams of becoming a professional dancer. Glenn did not give up in July.
No.
You could have easily given up. You thought, oh no, this business doesn't work. Look, my earnings have gone down. But he came back. From July to August, his income went up 300% in a single month, right? And I think that's the lesson. It's
Yeah,
about perseverance. And what are your aspirations? I mean, already at 1,500 Rand a month, 18,000 Rand a year.
Oh.
What's next?
What's next is, I reckon, stick with the program
Hmm.
and use the quests as your goals,
Yeah, monthly.
and we'll all see you at the IRONMAN.
What is your strategy around Ironman? 350 products in 6 months. I think you're tracking it already,
It's well
so
on
it's
the way.
working for you.
Yes.
Okay,
It
great.
is.
Awesome. Thanks, Glenn. Thank you for your
Thanks,
time,
Rob.
sir. Keep up the good work. And that's the key, guys. Perseverance. Perseverance all the time. If you have that, if you can fix your eyesight, your eyes on the long-term goal, if you can connect with those dreams and aspirations that a lot of us have forgotten about, it makes all the difference because your mindset changes completely. So one of the aspects that I have to highlight for you is the support here at DuePoint, right? The people I introduced you to on slide 3. We are here every day trying to make our wealth engineers more successful than they were yesterday. The client service staff that some of the wealth engineers touched on, a wealth of experience in this business. They are here only for our wealth engineers to support them, right? The facilities you're sitting in, this auditorium, wealth engineers have got full access to these facilities. We have wealth engineers that come in all the time during work hours, right? Having meetings, using our boardrooms. There's free Wi-Fi. You can update your apps if you want, and you can have free coffee. We don't count anything against you. We want you to come in here. You are family when you become a wealth engineer. We live stream to the entire world. So you're not limited by just being in Gauteng. Like some of the guys said, they know people in Cape Town that are watching, in Mpumalanga, Limpopo, everywhere. You guys have the potential to grow this business outside of your own jurisdiction, right? We put the systems and the administration, the website, the dashboard in place to make this business as successful as possible for you. So the support is unparalleled in this business opportunity. And on that note, Donnie, our last wealth engineer for the evening, come up, sir. Donnie's almost as tall and as good looking as I am. Those are big numbers. Donnie, you also joined in the beginning. I don't think you've had a holiday since you've joined. What motivated you in the beginning to join DuePoint? What was your first impression? I know you were quite skeptical when you joined.
Rob, that's absolutely the truth. I've been in network marketing for 25 years.
Okay.
I've actually studied it. I've been very successful in more than one network.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of South Africans are disillusioned by network marketing. In fact, we know network marketing is working. There are more than 100 million people in the world currently doing network marketing, by the way. But somehow, something doesn't gel in South Africa. I don't know if you had that experience. I think a lot of people spent money, lots of hours and energy, and didn't have the money to prove, you know. And some of them did make money, but somehow they didn't manage to keep the money.
Mm.
And in being inquisitive, I got my curiosity pricked. I came to a presentation and I checked DuePoint out. And the first thing is, like most wealth engineers here tonight, you realize that it's different. Different in a sense, it's really unique. And it actually gives something which a lot of the, as far as I'm concerned, other networks don't.
Mm.
There's absolute support. It actually plugs a lot of holes most people fall into. So if this is your first time to network marketing, whether you've been in network marketing before, you should seriously have a look at this opportunity, because chances are, by percentage-wise, that you will succeed in this one.
Yeah, most certainly. I mean, that's something we've got to deal with all the time, is the stigma around network marketing.
Exactly.
And it's obvious, you know, often the case, people don't really understand what it is.
Yes?
We've tried very hard here at DuePoint,
Yes.
through the facilities, through the people, the company backing this business, to help get rid of that stigma, right, for our wealth engineers. So what does the business mean for you going forward then? What are your aspirations, your expectations for the business?
Well, based on the uniqueness of DuePoint, like there's none like it in South Africa currently, and I challenge anybody to investigate the opportunity. This is a type of business you spend 20 years of your life with. You can seriously do 20 years of your life without the old school up and down insecurities. I love the products. I haven't met a South African yet that can't use this product, whether he's any South African, young, old, black, white, bright or not so bright, it doesn't matter. Most people find the products quite daunting or becoming, like I would say, and uses the product eagerly.
Okay. So we've got this big challenge over the next 6 months.
Yes.
I'd like to get your impression as well with regards to your strategy
Yes.
in getting there.
The basics is dig into the 3+2 plan, work for the incentives. I mean, when you put up the cards, I think I've got one here in my pocket. I
You can only fit one in your pocket
Yes,
at a time.
I mean, ladies and gentlemen, this is a 120 Rand business card. I know people that has been involved with network marketing for a decade and haven't even earned the amount of money one of these cards cost, And you saw tonight people with phones, tablets, televisions, and this is just a handful of people that was available in Johannesburg tonight. The other people, some of my guys in Plit and wherever in the Free State and the northern parts of our country, just do the 3+2 plan as far as you can. You don't have to approach 3 people or 2 people a month. You can seriously do that per week.
Yeah.
It all depends what you want, but I think stick in the planners, work the 3+2 plan in overdrive, and you'll achieve the goals.
Yeah, the 3+2 plan that we talk about is really only a guideline. Like Donnie, you can do way more than 3+2 if you want. If you think adding one person into the business is fairly slow every 2 weeks, by all means do more. If I had the choice, I would spend every minute that I could in this business. And Donnie, you're certainly exemplifying that, and we look forward to seeing where you're going to be in the next 60 months. Like people say, they're going to have to set up appointments with you to hear you speak again, but we look forward to that day.
Thank you, Rob. I would like to finish off by, all other networks that I've been involved with, you always get the rich guys and those who don't make any money at all. As far as our team is concerned, my team, it gives your heart a warm feeling to see average people actually earning a few hundred or a few thousand per month already. People that couldn't have done anything in previous networks actually earning. I've looked at some of the speakers tonight. Even if you just increase your income by 300 Rand per month, 20 years from now, you'll be a very, very wealthy person. And you'll do it safe with support of the head office. And I thank you, Brendan and Rob, for all your support.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you for your effort. Thank you.
you.
Donnie, cheers. Thank you, Donnie. And so we hit you with the bright slide near the end of the presentation, where we ask everyone to hopefully come up with a decision based on everything that we've shared with you tonight. I said we experience it firsthand at my house. My wife has to deal with all the retrenchments that are happening at Anglo. No longer can we depend on our employers to get us to where we want to be when it's time for retirement. I think when you get older, like me at 40, you start to panic a little bit about what your potential retirement is going to look like. I mean, the last 20 years have gone past fairly quickly. I certainly don't feel anything like a 40-year-old. I feel like I'm just getting going, right? And for all of us, that could be true. When you're 40, I don't think you feel 40. When I was 20, when I thought about 40-year-olds, I thought, whoa, it's way over the hill. Time is up, right? And it's certainly not the case. A business like this has the opportunity to change your life dramatically in a very short amount of time. Not 2 months, though, right? 2 years, 3 years. It is a very short amount of time. What it requires is the effort on your behalf. And so you guys need to make a decision tonight. I've imparted all this information, all the benefits about what a business like this is, and I've never had anyone come to me to tell me that there's a better opportunity that exists out in South Africa. No one has come to me, given many, 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 many presentations like this year. So it's not really a decision about the benefits. It's about whether you are connecting with a dream, with an aspiration that is big enough to motivate you to do business, over and above what you're doing at your day job, right? That 2% increase at the end of the financial year is not going to change your life. We're all at risk. We're all in the same boat. We've got no control over the economy, and we all have debt in our lives. This is the opportunity to change that for yourself, your family, and to be rewarded along the way. We are not going to send you out into the wilderness on your own. You are going to get all the support from the people that brought you here, to the people that you bring into your own business, to the staff here, the management. So come join the team this evening. If you have any questions, come speak to us afterwards. Don't leave if you have any questions. Come talk to us. We'll answer all the questions you have. And so we make joining very easy. Like I said, we've got free Wi-Fi in the building. There are iPads floating around all over the place. Jump onto the homepage, click on the big blue apply button. You can become a wealth engineer in about 7 minutes. 7 minutes. You can be calling those first few people on the way home tonight. What business opportunity gives you the opportunity to start creating value immediately? Immediately. There's nothing else you need to do beyond that. So that is the opportunity we're offering you this evening. This is our national conference that we do once a year in February. Limited tickets. The tickets started going on sale at the beginning of this month. They are going. Guys, if you are serious about this business, if you're already a wealth engineer, you should have a ticket already. These are going to be sold out before the end of the month. So please, make sure you get the tickets if you are wanting to go to this conference. Make sure your channel and your team have got tickets with you. And we've incentivized you too, to make it easier so that we can reward you. This is August's Wealth Quest. There's exactly 7 days left in this Wealth Quest. You need to get your team to take up 20 tickets to the national conference, and you will be rewarded with an iPhone 5S. How else are you going to afford an iPhone 5S? Could we make it any easier, right? This is all for the benefit of you guys. So this is the Wealth Quest, 7 days left, guys. And on that note, I'm going to ask Brendan, our head executive, to come up. He's going to close for us. I look forward to chatting to you guys outside.
Thanks, Rob. You didn't mention that I'm the guy on the home page, just without my glasses on. But and that makes me the prettiest of all of us, Rob. That makes us. We all have dreams and aspirations. It's a very good point. Folks, often after this presentation, we have people that find every excuse not to take what we have developed here, not to take it into its full consideration. Most people look at this, not most, some people look at this and say, this is just another one of those things. It's just another one of those things. It'll come and go. It doesn't really work. As Donnie said, only 1 or 2 guys will get rich and everyone else will lose out. Folks, I cannot emphasize to you enough how this is the exact opposite of that. This is the exact opposite. Constantia is a 65-year-old insurance company. It doesn't need to be doing this. We could be selling all of these products directly through their UMAs. Prime Written Direct is already one of the biggest short-term insurance companies in the country. We have a direct channel of distribution there. We could be selling our products through there. That is not what we are doing at DuePoint, but that is what things in the past that kind of look like this have been doing. They've been trying to push product through a system promising you wealth and promising you freedom. That is not what we're doing. What we are doing right now is getting involved in solving a problem in South Africa. We're getting involved. We hear the government often say the private sector must get involved. The private sector must. We've stopped saying the government must. We know they won't. So we now say the private sector must. Okay, that is what we are doing. We're stepping up to that plate and we are saying we're going to solve this economic problem we have right now in South Africa and globally. And that is that we no longer have any security in our income. You don't. You're not going to make it to the finish line with what you're doing right now. In the next decade, you are probably not even going to be doing the job you're doing right now. We have people come to us all the time and say, I don't want this, I want a job. Really? At 50, at 60, at 70, you want another job? That's not what you want. The job at that age, perhaps even at 40, is gone as fast as it comes. That's not what we're doing here. What we're doing right here is we're taking off the shelf again all the things that we once wanted, and we're making a path with a tool that is a directly in your control tool that leads you back to that thing. I walk around, I'm a big car fan, I'm a petrol head, and I watch the guys on Saturday morning driving their Rolls Royces up and down Main Road and their Porsches and their Ferraris and their Lamborghinis, and I am tired of watching them. I am tired of watching them. And I'm certainly not going to buy a 6 or 7 million rand car on finance. Okay? That's not what we do. What we are doing now is we're getting all your dreams back out, we're putting them in front of you, and we're putting a tool in your hand that costs you nothing for the tool. The tool is free. It comes off of the capital and wealth and structures that Constantia has. That's what you get for free. And you're able to use this tool to get to a dream and an aspiration to get to a life again that you gave up on many, many years ago. That's what we're doing here tonight. So for all the objections that you think you may have to what we're doing here, can I assure you that none of them actually exist? What we are doing is exactly what we're saying. And for the wealth engineers that are already online with us now, you can always find excuses that life will give you to not use this tool. Or you can decide today that it is too important to allow life to get in the way of you using the DuePoint system and getting to the life that you always wanted to live. You can think that you're busy at work. You can think that you're building a new house. Somebody in your family's died. Your kids have got lots of sport on the weekends. You like watching TV at night. It's very important for you to relax after a stressful day at work. All of those things are not getting you to the life that you wanted. What they're doing is they're keeping you in the system. Now what we can do, and what I really press all of you who choose to become wealth engineers at DuePoint to do, is to start putting life aside, the excuses, the circumstances, the reality that all of us face, and start getting determined to use this tool, this very innovative, unique, and genuine tool right now to start changing your lives forever. That's your choice. Only you can do that. And that's what we want to see happening with you, because we're not only going to change your lives here at DuePoint, we're going to change the economy of South Africa. That is the objective of DuePoint. It's not to make 50 millionaires. 50 millionaires would not change the economy. It is about changing everybody's earnings, that we can see the economy in South Africa change. That's what we're doing here tonight, folks. And I thank you for joining us. We've taken an hour of your time, but we hope that you would be part of this movement that we're starting here at DuePoint. I look forward to chatting to you afterwards. Thanks a lot. Good night.